Hello, hello. It is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger, coming to you with another episode of Podcasting Your Purpose with a tip on pre-launching. That's right. I just finished talking to a client. Matter of fact, I just finished an interview here on StreamYard. I love StreamYard, and I want to shout out my partner, Fred Fitzgiles, for inviting me on to his show today. I just finished that up, wrapped it up, and I'm coming to you even later than I normally do because of the tornado. So before I even begin, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope that you are safe, that you did not be so adversely affected by today's tornadoes, because I was seeing some pictures of some serious devastation. No deaths, thank God, in the area, but some of these homes and trees and properties were totally damaged. So again, I'm sending out all my well wishes to anyone and everyone that may have been affected by the high winds and the rains and all that today. Just I'm hoping that you were safe and sound, and prayers going out to those that have been adversely affected. So again, today's podcast episode, that's right, pre-launch podcast promotional tips, episode number 84 for podcasting your purpose. And I just wanted to come back to this topic because this is a topic that everyone is talking about. How do I get more people to listen to my podcast? How do I get more people excited about my podcast? And I'm working with someone today and tomorrow, and actually Thursday, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, to get her podcast up and running. She's scheduled to launch on Tuesday, the 11th, which, by the way, is my 30th wedding anniversary. So you won't see me here. I'm going to go and take off and hang out with my hubby all day long. But anywho, she is working on pre-launching her podcast. So we talked about not only the title of her podcast, but also the description. You want to let people know what this podcast is about so that they know if it's worth their investment. Yes, investment of their ears, investment of their time. So after you create the title for your podcast, make sure that you write a description. It could be a 1 or 2 sentence description of your podcast, and make sure that you're using keywords, searchable keywords. So when people go and do a Google search and they're searching for different types of podcasts, different topics, that you have the keyword that best identifies what your podcast is about. Then you're going to create a hook or a trailer, just a short 60-second, maybe 45, 50-second trailer. And I'm talking about this on Anchor FM, because that is where I have my my Delaware blogger podcast every Saturday. Let me give you the ID to that. It's on Anchor FM /Delaware blogger podcast. And that is where I am every Saturday, where I'm giving you more podcasting pointers. So make sure that there's a trailer there so that when people go to Anchor FM, they find your podcast, they can listen to the trailer to get a better idea of what your show is about. So that's about 45 seconds, no more than 60 seconds. That's that hook. I kind of think of it as, what is it going to grab you? The commercial that's going to grab you to want to make that investment of your time and your ears. So you want to make sure that you have that good title. You want to make sure you have a description, a 1 or 2 sentence description that you can write about when you're promoting your podcast, as well as the trailer that you create on Anchor FM. So that's the first 3 things you want to worry about. Then the 4th thing I want you to think about is your cover art, the picture. What is it? And you're gonna change this up. You're gonna ask people what do they think. That's why I like saying go to canva.com, go to pixart.com, play around with it, and remember, less is best. It's 3,000 by 3,000 pixels. Again, if you want someone to create it for you on Fiverr.com or Upwork.com, or if you know a graphics artist, have them do it. But again, make sure this is your album cover. You remember, again, I'm a boomer, so I remember album covers are what sold. The song sold, you wanted to see you wanted to hear the song, but it was that album cover that really drew you into making that purchase, because you could listen to the song on the radio, or you can get someone to make a copy of it, on a cassette or whatever. But it was the album cover, and album covers are like you think about those album covers and like, oh my gosh, I remember that was my favorite album. So when you're doing your cover art, make sure it's something that's reflective not only of your title, but also the feel of your show. The next thing I want to talk about is scheduling it. And there's two parts to scheduling. What date and time are you going to drop an episode? Now, remember, people are going to be listening to your podcast, at their leisure. They can listen to it when you drop it. They can listen to it the next day, Sunday, Saturday, any day. But put in your head the day that you know that you have a new episode. It's almost like, when we look forward to every Thursday at 8 o'clock to watch The Cosby Show. So let people know every Tuesday at noon, every Wednesday at 1, every Saturday at 10, whatever. Those are going to be the dates of your new podcast, but you can schedule it. You can put it in draft on Anchor, and then you can make sure that it drops. So you can start creating your podcast today and schedule it out for the next week, the week after next, so on and so forth. So that's what Anne was working on. She was working on creating her episode, putting it in draft so that she can make sure that it goes live on Tuesday, the 11th at noon. But in the meantime, in between time, she is sending out Facebook posts, and she's going to send out tweets, and she's going to send out LinkedIn announcements of her podcast, which is dropping on the 11th of August. And she made some great cover art in Canva, and she's introducing herself. And then I told her to also create a headliner. Go to Headliner, you do a recording and create, a trailer or a recording that she can share with her social media, friends, family, and followers, so that they can get an idea of her podcast, what it's going to be about and what it's going to sound like. So that's another thing that you can work on. So set the schedule, and again, write in your dates, go in the calendar, what your topics are going to be before you even, what is it that you want to talk about? And 15 to 18 minute, maybe 15, 20 minute is a sweet spot. In the book, Podcasting Your Purpose, I had 28 to 35 minutes, remember? But that was when we were doing a normal commute in the car, unless you lived in New York or DC. But the normal sweet spot for a commute for a podcast was 28, 38 minutes, things like that. But now people are binging on podcasts, so you can have longer podcasts. And sometimes they want to have little bites and pieces, so you can have 15-minute podcasts. So make it what is comfortable for you. You want to make sure that, you're not trying to draw it out just to draw it out. You get in there, you tell them what you want to talk about, and boom, you're done. Of course, if you have an interview, it's going to be longer than the 15 minutes. But again, set that schedule, knowing that, on this day, you're going to talk about this, and this is how much time in which you're going to do it. So when you build the episode, you've got your intro, which may be a couple of minutes, your meat and potatoes, your episode, and then your outro. If you have any commercials, if you want to put some transitional music in there, some sound effects, again, that's going to take you about 15, 18 minutes. So again, that is the sweet spot now, but you can make it longer, especially if you have interviewees and people that like to talk. So I have this podcasting pointers pre-launch printable. Remember, I have these printables for you. If you are interested, and can you see that? If you are interested in any of the printables, let me know. Here's my email address. I will get that printable to you. And again, on this podcasting pointers pre-launch, I talk about naming your show, because you want to think about your theme, your niche, and your audience. Who is it that you're trying to reach? How do you want to be known? It's your brand. Choose a title that's reflective of your mission, your vision, and your purpose. The second thing on here is podcast description. Use the correct keywords to describe your podcast. Remember, search engine optimization. When people are searching for a podcast, you want to make sure that you have the keywords in there that's going to help make your podcast found. How do you want to be found? That's going to help when you're writing your description. And whether or not you do it as a monologue or a trailer or a hook, you want to have those keywords in there as well. And reasons why people should listen to your podcast. What is it that you have? What is it that you're offering them? What is it they're going to hear? So make sure that's in there as well. Create your cover art and your content. Brainstorm some ideas, for the weekly topics. Write out the show notes. The show notes are all so great. Why? Not only can you put the show notes within the description of your podcast, but you can use that when you're promoting on social media as well as if you're going to write a blog post about it. Again, remember, you can repurpose your podcast into a blog post. I talked about that on a previous episode. So if you have subscribed to this YouTube channel, check those other videos, because there's 2 videos on repurposing content. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you thumbs up this video and subscribe as well. Are you going to open your podcast with music, maybe a voiceover? How are you going to do it? Create something unique. And when you're creating your cover art, make sure less is best. 3,000 by 3,000 pixels with either your face, not your face, or something else. Whatever you want to do, again, make it your own. Set that schedule. Setting a schedule, using a plan, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you want to make sure you have in your head the date you're going to drop your podcast, the topics, the subjects, if you're going to have guests or whatever the case may be. You want to do that, and you can pre-schedule it. In Anchor, you can save it as a draft and then schedule it so you can knock out, 3 or 4 episodes at one sitting. Equipment, I talk about equipment, but again, if you're using your smartphone, you have your mic, you can use the built-in mic. You can get an inexpensive condenser mic. Let me show you. I got this inexpensive condenser mic that I plug into my laptop. I also plug it into my smartphone, but you can get a Yeti mic. You can get any types of mics that you want. You can get a lapel mic, whatever the case may be. Just don't go out and spend a whole lot of money right away. So that is the Podcasting Pointers pre-launch checklist. If you do want a copy of that, make sure that you leave me in the comments that you do. Remember, Podcasting Your Purpose workbook is available $15.99 on Amazon, or you can order it from me, free shipping. And with that, you can get the Basic Blogging Tips for Beginners book. And if you want the book bundle, it's $26. So again, thank you so very much for giving me just a few minutes of your time. Make sure tomorrow is Wednesday. What's up Wednesday? Blog Your Way to a Business Profit podcast on Blog Talk Radio. Blog to Profit is the tinyurl.com ID. That's at 1:00. And tomorrow I'm going to be talking about how bloggers can connect with brands. And that's a good one, because there are a lot of brands out there that are looking for influencers, especially during COVID-19, because they cannot get people in the stores or out to buy their products. So they're looking for bloggers to promote their products and or services. And I also talk about how businesses can work with bloggers as well. So check that out tomorrow at 1. I think tomorrow, actually, I think tomorrow is how businesses are working with bloggers. So I got confused on that one. Maybe it's Windstorm. And then on Saturday morning, Anchor FM, the Delaware Blogger Podcast. Make sure you check that out. There's 200 some odd episodes on there. I'm pretty sure you'll find one that you will be, will help you out with your podcasting as well. So Podcasting Pointers, pre-launch, name your show, description of your show, create your cover art and your content, set a schedule, and then make sure that you publish, promote. You have to promote on your social media platforms, in an email, in a newsletter. You got to tell people, you got to scream it from the rooftops, and it's never one and done. So use apps like Promo Republic or Buffer app or Hootsuite or Meet Edgar to promote, especially if the content is evergreen. It's never one and done, and you can repurpose your content into quotes. You can repurpose it into blog posts. You can repurpose it into anything that you want, because it's never one and done. Remember, Podcasting Your Purpose workbook, $15.99. You can order that on Amazon, or you can send an email to info@ablakeenterprises.com. You can get the book bundle, which contains both Basic Blogging Tips for Beginners and Podcasting Your Purpose. Send an email to info@ablakeenterprises.com. Free shipping, that will go out. And again, I hope you guys are safe during these storms. And until the next time, which is tomorrow, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social. Still from a distance, because I will see you in cyberspace. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger. Have a beautifully blessed day. Bye-bye.